Craftsman Days are here at Lowe's with big savings on the tools you need. Right now, get a free select tool when you buy the Craftsman V20 2-pack battery kit. Whether it's the backyard, the bathroom, or beyond, Craftsman has the tools to help you power through and get the project done right. Because DIYing is unpredictable, but your tools shouldn't be. Shop Craftsman at Lowe's today. Valid through 6/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Not only should Walters be your spot before and after every Nats game, but also Walters is an avenue for cheaper Nats tickets. When buying tickets to Nationals Park through the rest of the season, enter promo code WALTERS for 30% off.
Young from second, Chavis from first, Robertson to the belt. The kick and the pitch. Swinging a ground ball toward the middle. It's on through into center field. A base hit. Young around third. He will score. Chavis speeding to third. He'll be there without a play as the throw comes in from Chisholm. Cut off of the mound by Gurriel. And on at first with a single to center to tie the game with a terrific at bat is Jake Alou. It's the Nationals 2 and the Marlins 2. Runners on first and third, 2 out. And Riley Adams coming up. Next pitch inside, off the glove of the catcher. Here comes the runner for the plate. Chavis slides in and scores. Over to third goes Jake Alou. And the Nationals have the lead here in the top of the 9th inning on a wild pitch. It's now Washington 3 and Miami 2.
Robertson did not break to cover the plate. The ball off the mid of Stallings was catchable. It squirts behind him, and Robertson doesn't break. Chavis does.
And welcome to Nats Chat for Sunday, August 27th, 2023. I'm Al Galdi, host of the Al Galdi Podcast. Hope that you're having a nice weekend. Mark Zuckerman is off for this installment of the show. Few things were as frustrating with the Nationals last season and then into this season than the struggles against the Miami Marlins. I mean, how maddening was the Nats' futility against the Marlins last season and then into this season? The Nats, as you may recall, got swept by the Marlins at Nationals Park in a 3-game series from June 16th through the 18th. That was rock bottom for the Nats against the Marlins. The Nats, with that sweep, fell to an amazing 4-21 against the Marlins in regular season games since the start of the 2022 season. Yes, 4-21. Well, the Nats, in their latest series against the Marlins, have won each of the first 2 games of a 3-game series at the Marlins. Perhaps that is as good of a sign as anything that the Nats are on the rise. There are a lot of signs speaking to the Nats being on the rise these days. But hey, beating the Marlins, that may well tell us more than anything right now. Friday evening, a 7-4 Nats win, and now Saturday, a 3-2 Nats win in a game in which the Nats overcame a 2-1 9th inning deficit. Yeah, we had some drama for the Nats in this win at the Marlins on Saturday. So the Nats now, they are 23-11 over their last 34 games. The Nats have gone from 38-58 to now 61-69. The Nats now have won 5 consecutive series and 7 of the team's last 8 series. Here's something to ponder, okay? And I'm serious with what I'm about to say. Could the Nats realistically finish with a 500 record for this season? Forget about the Nats avoiding at least 100 losses. Forget about the Nats avoiding at least 90 losses. Could the Nats realistically finish with a 500 record? 81-81. That's not a laughable question, so don't laugh. But you do the math. 61-69 right now. 32 games left for the Nats in their 2023 regular season. They'd have to go at least 20-12 to finish with at least 81 wins. Not easy, okay? Maybe even not likely. But not impossible, okay? Not with the way that the Nats are playing right now. You tell me, are you going to dismiss the notion of the Nats going 20-12 over their final 32 games of this regular season? And if you're not going to dismiss that notion, then you can't dismiss the notion of the Nats actually finishing this season with a 500 record. It is nuts that we can talk like this right now, but we can. This win on Saturday was yet another come-from-behind, scrappy Nats kind of victory Like I said, the Nats overcame a 2-1 ninth inning deficit. They did so with a 2-run top of the ninth. Lane Thomas, he on Saturday was the Nats starting right fielder and number 2 batter. He went 1 for 4, but the one was a triple that came in that Nats 2-run ninth. A leadoff opposite field triple. The ball went off the glove of Marlins center fielder Jazz Chisholm Jr. as he dove in the right center field gap. And then the ball went past Marlins right fielder Jesus Sanchez. However, Thomas was thrown out at home by a pretty good amount on a fielder's choice grounder by Dominic Smith for the first out on a play on which Marlins second baseman Luis Arraez made a terrific diving catch on the infield grass. However, later in the inning was the latest run-scoring hit by Jake Alou. As I have said about Alou, all this guy does is produce run-scoring hits, and he on Saturday had yet another run-scoring hit, and this was a big run-scoring hit. Jake Alou in this game was the Nats starting left fielder and number 6 batter. He went 1 for 2 with an RBI single and 2 walks. Alou in this Nats 2-run ninth had a game-tying, 2-out, full-count RBI single up the middle to tie the game at 2. What a job by Jake Alou, who now at the major league level this season is batting .333 with runners in scoring position. And he on the next pitch had an uncontested steal of second base, and then 2 pitches later was a pass ball that resulted in pinch runner Michael Chavis scoring for a 3-2 Nats lead. The scrappy Nats had struck again. The Nats won this game despite totaling just 4 hits and 2 walks, and despite going just 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. I mean, you think about that. 4 hits and 2 walks the entire game, 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position for the game. The Nats on Saturday did not do much offensively, okay? The offense overall was not good in this game, but the Nats in this game did do enough to win. I mean, think about the other inning in which the Nats scored a run in this game on Saturday. A 1-run Nats 4th. Joey Meneses, who in this game was the Nats starting DH and number 3 batter, 1 for 3 with a double and a hit by pitch. Meneses in the Nats 1-run 4th had a 2-out double to left field, and then on the very next pitch scored on a throwing error by Marlins shortstop Joey Wendell, who made a high throw off ranging to his left all the way into shallow right center field on a grounder by Dominic Smith. By the way, regarding Jake Alou's first walk of the game, I did want to mention this. Alou in the top of the 5th drew a leadoff 5-pitch walk, but then was thrown out in an attempted steal of second base, despite the pitch on which he made the attempted steal being in the dirt. I gotta salute the Marlins starting catcher, Jacob Stallings. He made a great pick of the pitch in the dirt and then made a great throw to nail Alou at second base. That was impressive defensive work by Jacob Stallings. But going back to Alou's game-tying 2-out full-count RBI single in the 2-run ninth, scoring on the play was Jacob Young, who pinch ran for Joey Meneses, who in that Nats 2-run ninth drew a hit by pitch. Jacob Young, he on Saturday made his major league regular season debut. The Nats on Saturday afternoon announced that they had selected the contract of outfielder Jacob Young from AAA Rochester. This is the same Jacob Young who just 4 days earlier, this past Tuesday, August 22nd, was announced as having been promoted from AA Harrisburg to AAA Rochester, and Young earlier this season played for High A Wilmington. So Jacob Young this season has played at 4 levels of the Nationals organization: High A Wilmington, AA Harrisburg, AAA Rochester, and now the major league level. Not too shabby. This season is Jacob Young's age 23 season. The Nats took him in the 7th round of the 2021 MLB draft out of Florida, and his stock has been rising. Now, he's not, Dylan Cruz or James Wood in terms of highly regarded Nats outfield prospects, but again, he this season has played at 4 levels of the Nationals organization, and Young was the Nats 2022 minor league base runner of the year. He was one of just 2 players in all of minor league baseball in the 2022 season to have at least 50 stolen bases and score at least 100 runs. So, he's not a tier 1 Nats prospect, but he is, I would say, a tier 2 Nats prospect, and he certainly is worth looking at. And, his promotion to the major league level of having just been promoted from AA Harrisburg to AAA Rochester is another reminder of when the Nats have a prospect on the rise or have a highly regarded prospect, once that guy has been promoted to AA, the watch is on for him to be promoted to the major league level, because the Nats have had a penchant for doing this. you have a guy who's well thought of. He gets promoted to AA, and then soon thereafter, he does get promoted to the majors, sometimes even skipping AAA altogether. But I mean, look at this instance, right? Jacob Young ends up spending a handful of days playing for AAA Rochester, and now is playing for the Nats at the major league level. But good on him to score a run in his major league regular season debut. Hey, are you a law firm partner or an associate stuck on an underperforming franchise? Do what Nationals legend Max Scherzer did. Demand a trade. He left the New York Mets, right? And ended up on a contender in the American League. There might be greener pastures and a lot more money at another law firm for you and your team at another law firm, not to mention better management and better services to offer your clients. You can reach Mason or any of his team of 7 recruiters at 202-486-3535 or email Mason at mason@zenithlegal.com. That's 202-486-3535 or via email at mason@zenithlegal.com. Go Nats! The Nats will be contenders very soon, and you can be a contender even sooner.
Are you looking for tickets to an upcoming event? That's why you should download the Game Time app. Create an account and use code NATSCHAT for $20 off your first purchase. You get cheaper tickets, and it helps the podcast a bit. Sounds like a smooth 643 double play. Again, create an account and redeem the code NATSCHAT for $20 off. Terms apply. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Hey guys, Al Galdi here to tell you about Factor, which is America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. I have been eating Factor meals. They are outstanding. They can help you fuel up fast with flavorful and nutritious ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track reaching your goals. We, of course, are in the thick of summer, but the school year isn't far away. Everyone's busy. You want to make sure that you're eating well. With Factor, you can skip that extra trip to the grocery store and also skip the chopping, the prepping, and the cleaning up too, while still getting the flavor and the nutrition that you need. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes. All you have to do is heat up the meal and enjoy the meal, and then get back to doing whatever it is that you need to be doing. Here's what you do. Go to factormeals.com/NatsChat50 and use the code NatsChat50. You do that, you get 50% off. Yeah, 50% off. Go to factormeals.com/NatsChat50 and use that promo code NatsChat50 for 50% off. Factormeals.com/NatsChat50 and use that promo code NatsChat50 for 50% off. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit.
Here's your Dylan Cruz update for the game played on Saturday evening as the Harrisburg Senators defeated the Reading Fighting Phils 7-6. Dylan Cruz in center field was leadoff, 0 for 4. He's hitting .118 so far in Double-A. Now back to Al.
Fading into the belt. The 0-1 on the way. Swinging a ground ball, chopped to third. Big Hot Vargas charging in, has it. Thrown across to Chavis. And a curly W is in the books. And so is a series win over the Marlins in Miami. And look at those Nationals on the field. High fives and fist pumps.
The Nats on Saturday afternoon also announced that they had transferred outfielder Stone Garrett to the 60-day injured list and had optioned infielder Jeter Downs back to AAA Rochester. The Nats have been using 2 guys who are known more as infielders, and Jake Alou and Ildemaro Vargas, to play left field since Garrett suffered that fractured left fibula. So now at least there is another true outfielder at the major league level for the Nats in Jacob Young, and I hope that we see a good amount of Jacob Young in these coming weeks. Well, this 3-2 Nats win at the Marlins on Saturday was a big game for guys named Jake. Jake Alou, Jacob Young, and Jake Irvin. Yet another good outing for Nats starting pitcher Jake Irvin. He allowed 1 run in 6 innings. He gave up just 4 hits, a solo homer, a double, and 2 singles. He did issue 3 walks and did record just 3 strikeouts. He threw 96 pitches, 58 strikes versus 38 balls. Irvin's only perfect inning was the bottom of the first, He, in the bottom of the 6th, allowed the lone run that he gave up in this game. Gave up a one-out first pitch, opposite field, solo homer by the ex-Nat, Josh Bell, to left field to tie the game at 1. The projected distance of the homer per StatCast was just 366 feet, so it's not like, Bell tattooed Irvin's pitch, but Bell did put the ball out of the ballpark for the home run. But still, 1 run in 6 innings. This was another good start for Jake Irvin. The Nats on May 3rd recalled Irvin from AAA Rochester. He, over his first 7 major league starts, had an ERA of .587. He then had his turn in the rotation skip. He worked on some things, he reset himself, and Irvin now, over 13 starts since having his turn in the rotation skipped, has an ERA of .364. 29 earned runs in 71 2/3 innings. Here is a hot take that actually isn't so hot. Jake Irvin has been the Nats' best starting pitcher since mid-June. There, I said it. Okay, but tell me I'm wrong. All right, think about this now. Josiah Gray's first 3 starts of August were horrendous. Mackenzie Gore has been up and down lately. Is it not true that Jake Irvin has been the Nats' best starting pitcher since mid-June? Now, I would not say that Irvin's best starts since mid-June have been as good as the best starts that we have seen from Josiah Gray and Mackenzie Gore. I am not saying that Jake Irvin is better than Gray or Gore. I'm just saying if you look at the production, if you look at the run prevention since mid-June, which now was more than 2 months ago, tell me that Jake Irvin has not been the Nats' best starting pitcher. Again, last 13 starts, an ERA of .364. And you know what? Even if you disagree with that, that's fine. But just the fact that we can have this discussion is such good news. This is so encouraging. The Nats took Jake Irvin in the 4th round of the 2018 MLB draft out of the University of Oklahoma. Irvin, at the time of being called up by the Nats, was their number 20 prospect per MLB pipeline, and yet here he is putting together a 13-start stretch in which he has an ERA of .364. He is pitching his way into being a member of the Nats' 2024 rotation. I think right now, if you had to say what's more likely, that Irvin is in the Nats' 2024 regular season opening rotation, or Irvin is not in the Nats' 2024 regular season opening rotation, I think you'd lean toward the former, right? That it's more likely that he is in that rotation than he is not. And I think it's a real credit to him what he's doing here, putting together a multi-month stretch in which he has an ERA under 4. Also for the Nats in this 3-2 win over the Marlins on Saturday, their bullpen. 3 Nats relievers combined to allow 1 run in 3 innings. Jose A. Ferrer tossed 1 1/3 scoreless innings with 2 swinging strikeouts. Now, Ferrer in the bottom of the 7th gave up a 1-out infield single by pinch hitter John Birdie, due at least in part to Ferrer being late to cover first base on a grounder to first baseman Dominic Smith. But Ferrer then picked off Birdie for a 1-3-4, caught stealing for the 2nd out. Jordan Weems in the bottom of the 8th faced 4 batters, but got just 2 outs. He, on the first pitch that he threw, gave up a tie-breaking 1-out first pitch solo homer by Jorge Soler to left field for a 2-1 Marlins lead, although the projected distance of that homer per StatCast was just 367 feet. But Weems did give up that home run, but then Kyle Finnegan tossed a scoreless bottom of the 9th for the save. Finnegan gave up a leadoff single by Brian De La Cruz up the middle on an 0-2 pitch, but Finnegan then made a terrific defensive play, a lunging catch of a grounder off the bat of Jesus Sanchez for a 1-6-3 double play for the first 2 outs, and then Finnegan induced a game-ending groundout off the bat of John Birdie. So we did have Ferrer being late to cover first base, but we also had the Ferrer pickoff, and we had the double play started by the nice play by Finnegan. So some clutch defense by Nats relievers in this Nats win on Saturday. You tell us what you think. You can tweet us at Nats_chat. You can email the show, natschatpodcast@gmail.com. Email from Joseph Tracy III. Joseph Tracy III. JT3, I don't know if John Thompson III might take issue with that, but anyway, Joseph writes us regarding Stone Garrett. Writes Joseph, as a longtime listener and infrequent contributor, I sent in a voice memo in 2021 recounting my 2019 World Series experience. I wanted to see if you all would be interested in speaking to how we, as fans, can show our encouragement and support to Stone Garrett during his recovery. I was walking the dog when I got an alert on my phone stating that Stone had been carted off the field. When I got home, I pulled up the game, found the incident, and was crushed to see one of my favorite new players go down. I kept refreshing the national subreddit until I found the confirmation of his injury, and one comment thread suggested sending get well soon cards. I've never sent any well-wishing cards outside of my family, let alone to a stranger on my favorite ball club, but watching the game and seeing the immediate support from the fan base pour out, he should know that we're all behind him and looking forward to his return. I appreciate the work that you all do with Nats Chat. I love listening to each episode, and I love watching the boys battle. This season has been especially optimistic, wishing Stone a speedy and full recovery. Thank you very much for the email, Joseph. We appreciate that. So I am not aware of a specific movement to send Stone Garrett well wishes. I would think that if you sent the Nationals a card or a note for Stone, they would pass that along to him. There is a Twitter account or an X account that professes to be Stone Garrett's and seems to be Stone Garrett's, but, it's hard to tell these days what is fake and what is real on social media. You can find us on our website, natschatpodcast.com, at which you can get yourself a Nats Chat Podcast t-shirt. You also can listen to previous installments of the show. All Nationals radio highlights on Nats Chat are courtesy of 106.7 The Fan. A thank you to Tim Newmark for the Nats Chat Podcast music. Visit timnewmark.com. Nats Chat is on the radio Sunday mornings from 11 to 12 on ESPN Richmond, which is 106.1 FM in the Richmond, Virginia area, and ESPNRichmond.com all over the world. Next up for the Nats is Game 3 of this three-game series at the Miami Marlins. Sunday afternoon at 1:40, Trevor Williams will be the Nats starting pitcher as the Nats go for yet another three-game sweep. And I say yet another. Remember this. The Nats, during this stretch of 23 wins in 34 games, have authored not one, not two, but three-game sweeps. We had the three-game sweep of the San Francisco Giants at Nationals Park, July 21st through July 23rd. We had the three-game sweep at the Cincinnati Reds, August 4th through August 6th. And we had the three-game sweep of the Major League worst Oakland A's at Nationals Park, August 11th through August 13th. The Nats have been weekend warriors lately in terms of generating these three-game sweeps. Are we about to get another one? We shall see on Sunday afternoon. I'm Al Galdi. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next time on the Nats Chat Podcast.
Here's the set, and he throws over. They've got him picked off. Smith throws to second. Vargas waits for him and tags him out. Well, that was actually a very smart decision there by Ferrer. Figuring Birdie was going to go on first movement, Ferrer used his third pickoff throw and picks up the pickoff. 1-3-4, and he erases his own mental mistake.
This is your before and after story. Instead of imagining a rewarding career in medical imaging, Southeastern College can actually take you there. Prepare for a career in ultrasound, radiology, and X-ray technology. With hands-on specialized training, simulations, and real-life experience with the latest imaging technology, you'll be ready to play a vital role on any healthcare team. Transform your life by helping others. Southeastern College. Your future is bright. Visit scc.edu to get started.